Armored vehicles are some of the most useful tools that you can use in Grand Theft Auto Online. Whether you are trying to complete missions as fast as possible, or you're trying to defeat a griefer who's in the process of blowing you up, today's video should hopefully come as a service. The vehicle we're going to be starting the video off in is pretty simple, and this should make really any top tier list when it comes to the most armored cars to buy, is the Armored Kuruma. I'm literally sitting here with a 5-star wanted level, having just about every cop in Los Santos shoot at me, and as you can see, it doesn't do anything. Whether I'm being shot at through the side of the car, the front, the back, anywhere, the Armored Kuruma is completely bulletproof. And because of that, this is by far one of the best armored vehicles you can use in the game. Whether you're talking to veteran players or you are a very new and inexperienced player, this is a vehicle that you should always own in your arsenal. Why? Well, essentially, if you ever plan on doing any missions that involve NPCs that are going to shoot at you, pull out this car. You're never going to die. As long as there are no explosions involved in whatever you're going to do, the Armored Kuruma is hands down the best vehicle that you can use. It's also cheap, only coming in at $525,000, so there's really no reason why you shouldn't pick it up. In the number 4 slot, we have one of my favorite weaponized armored vehicles, being the Vapid Speedo Custom. I always look at it as a better version of the weaponized Tampa. First of all, it features a remote minigun, and this is an incredibly deadly remote minigun. You can see me shooting at that car and ya gone, shoot at this truck, ya gone. Yeah, it's pretty deadly. The fact that you can just obliterate anything near you because of this remote minigun is pretty insane. It is the same deadliness as the dual remote minigun on the weaponized Tampa. Not only do you have that minigun, but you also drop proximity mines. You can see I've dropped 2 on the road there, and that car drives right into it and completely gets obliterated. So the proximity mines are super deadly. The weapon on the roof is obviously just completely devastating, but it gets better. This vehicle also features somewhat armored glass. We can see that if you shoot at the glass, it will take a decent chunk of rounds before it actually starts to break. And the front is actually even harder to cut through. All of this metal on the front of the vehicle counts as objects. And because of that, if you're ever shooting at somebody driving this vehicle, you have to thread the bullets in between the glass and the metal to actually hit them. Plus, because this glass is somewhat armored, it takes a decent chunk of shells, as you can see, before you actually start to go through it. 26 rifle rounds. When you add this together, it actually makes the Vapid Speedo Custom an incredibly well-armored vehicle. Not only is it great for dealing with NPCs, but because it has this machine gun, it can easily obliterate anything around it. If anybody's trying to chase you, you can obviously drop the proximity mines, which will make quick work of opponents. The only real downside of the Vapid Speedo Custom is that it cannot survive any explosions. But to be honest, that's not a huge downside, because I use this vehicle to deal with NPCs and clear out missions. So it's just a really solid vehicle in that aspect. I wouldn't really call it a good griefer vehicle, but apart from that, it's still amazing. The best part about the Speedo Custom is it doesn't matter what level you are to get the upgrades on this vehicle. For example, the weaponized Tampa, you need to own a bunker, and you need to get all the unlocks in the bunker before you can fully upgrade the vehicle. However, if you just own a nightclub, the Vapid Speedo Custom already arrives inside of your nightclub garage. Then you just walk inside of it, and all of the upgrades, even if you're level 1, are already unlocked, making this a super good vehicle for anybody that is brand new to the game, or even experienced like myself. It feels like every single list I make has the Toreador in it, but for good reason. This vehicle is just insane. First of all, it's very well armored, surviving upwards of 6 to 7 homing missiles before getting blown up. That alone makes this an incredibly solid vehicle for public sessions, because even griefers are going to have a hard time taking you out. But this vehicle, as you can see, also carries a speed boost, allowing it to accelerate to an average of 135 miles per hour. It also features missiles that you can spam. It has unlimited homing missiles, and these aren't lame homing missiles like the Sparrow or the Oppressor Mark II has. These are Mark II missiles, which will literally insta-kill anything that you get a lock on. If an Oppressor Mark II flies above you and you get the slightest little boop 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 boop, it's dead. It will not be able to dodge the missile. The only thing it can hope to use is its flares. Plus, this vehicle also has an insanely deadly machine gun. This vehicle in front of me, look at how quick it blows up to the machine gun. A lot of people don't realize, but for some reason the Toreador just has a ridiculous machine gun. It does the same damage as a minigun. And the final weird part about this vehicle is that it can also become a submarine. You can see we're going to bring it into the water here, put it in a submersible mode, and just like that, we are now under the water. We are also able to fire torpedoes under the water. This is a really good defensive mechanism if somebody's ever trying to blow you up and you think you're gonna die. You can just hop, skip, jump into the water, and I mean, you should be completely fine, although I'll be honest, I don't think I've actually ever used the underwater capabilities of this vehicle. The Toreador is just an amazing car. I mean, it's got everything you'd ever want going for you in a public lobby. It has survivability, it's got armor, it's got everything. The really only downside of the car is the fact that it has basically no bulletproof protection. I mean, you can see that the entire front glass is completely useless and you can shoot right through it. So it does obviously have some downsides, but it's not much when you think about everything else that it has going for it. Hey you, yes, you. Are you sick and tired of dying to griefers and people around you? Well, no more will that be a problem. With 5 easy payments of $99.99.99, you too can become invincible by getting the Hauler Custom. And that is where we arrive into the number 2 position. The Hauler Custom is by far the best survivability vehicle in the game. It can survive 69 homing missiles. I'm pretty sure we all know Rockstar picked that number as a joke, but I'm not joking. This vehicle can survive basically 70 homing missiles. Now, I want you to put into your minds that an Oppressor Mark II holds about 26 homing missiles. So you will have to spawn in 3 Oppressor Mark IIs to blow a single Hauler Custom up. And something you'll notice about this vehicle is that it's not slow. It goes at a top speed of 102 miles per hour. I mean, that's not ridiculously fast, but it's the same speed as vehicles like the Night Shark and the Insurgent, so it's not slow either. The Hauler Custom obviously has a lot of weight going for it, so anybody in front of you, yeah, you can easily send them out of the way. And the best thing is that it's not even that expensive. The Hauler Custom is gonna set you back $1.4 million, which is literally nothing when it comes to making money in Grand Theft Auto Online. The Toreador is $4.25 million. That is 4 times the price when you could get a vehicle that is literally indestructible. And man, is this thing insane. Another great feature about the Hauler Custom is that, as you'll notice, the entire back of this vehicle is obviously completely bulletproof, as there's no windows or anything to shoot through. But you can actually shoot out the back of this vehicle. So as you can see, I was able to kill that truck driver right there. We can shoot at that car. We can basically shoot at all these drivers behind me. So usually what I like to do is if there's somebody that's ever trying to grief me or blow me up, I'll just drive my vehicle in reverse, and I'll make sure no matter what they do, they never have the opportunity to actually see the front of the cab. And when you do that, you're basically unkillable. The Hauler Custom is ridiculous, and I would highly recommend for anybody that hasn't messed around with it to use it. It is basically the anti-grief machine. Before we break into the number 1 position, I thought I would throw an honorable mention out there, which is Amani Tech vehicles. All Amani Tech cars basically feature the same survivability. I mean, sure, some like the Obey Ominous EGT can survive more RPGs than others, but for the most part, if you put on the missile lock-on jammer for any Amani Tech vehicle, let's be honest, nobody's going to blow you up. I have legit never once gotten blown up in an Amani Tech car. It doesn't matter which one I'm driving, they just don't get blown up. So as an honorable mention, just buy an Amani Tech vehicle. They're really good, you'll never die, and just equip them with the missile lock-on jammer. Before we break into the number 1 slot, I always do like to mention, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to see more content like this in the future or money-making guides, make sure to click that subscribe button down below, as only 20% of the viewers that watch my content are subscribed. Let's get into the first place spot, which is the Future Shock ZR380, a vehicle I personally believe is criminally underrated in the armored car community for Grand Theft Auto Online. First of all, the car looks absolutely amazing. If you paint it properly and you put the right liveries on it, I mean, the vehicle just looks so cool with the spikes and the plow on the front. I am a huge fan of the overall vehicle's design. But it gets better when we talk about the armor. The entire front glass of this vehicle is completely bulletproof. Now, as a disclaimer, it is only bulletproof if you buy the Future Shock. The Apocalypse and Nightmare do not feature bulletproof glass, so keep that in mind. But yeah, it doesn't matter if you pull out a minigun or anything, you will never, ever, ever kill anybody when shooting at the front of this vehicle. Now, the sides are not bulletproof, but as long as you're properly driving, you should never have to worry about being killed through the side. The back of this car is also obviously bulletproof. As you can see, the bullets get completely stuck on it. The spoiler even acts as a hitbox, so you're never ever going to kill the driver from the back of this vehicle, essentially making this car almost unstoppable against bullets. But it gets even better. The car is also extremely resistant to explosions. So if we pull out something like a grenade launcher, as we can see, I mean, it's literally doing nothing to the car. The Future Shock and all the variants can survive 4 homing missiles, which is absolutely insane. That means essentially you're not going to have to worry about being blown up. And the better things just keep on coming, like the fact that this vehicle features a rocket boost. Well, not really a rocket boost, but you can see flames come out of the back of the exhaust, allowing this vehicle to achieve a top speed of 140 miles per hour. Yeah, 140. That is insanely fast, and it actually makes it one of the fastest sports cars in the entire game, even compared to HSW vehicles. Plus, that plow, it's not just for looks. As you can see, it actually does a pretty decent job of flipping cars right out of your way. So this vehicle kind of has it all, and that's why I easily put it in the #1 position. It's fast, it has very good handling, it looks incredibly nice. Oh, I also forgot to mention it drops mines. The mines aren't anything incredible, but they are EMP mines, and you can choose different versions, but the EMP are the best. You can see it completely stops your vehicle from being able to move for a certain amount of time, and then you can start moving it again. This is actually really good when people try chasing you, because it essentially means they can't do anything. Their car just locks up. So overall, I personally love the ZR380. It's one of my favorite vehicles in the game. It looks amazing, and when it comes to armor, it just checks all the boxes. Sure, people might be quick to point out that it's not the best at this or that, but what I can say is that it does everything well. It has explosion resistance, it has bulletproof armor, it has a plow that gets vehicles out of the way, it can use mines to stop people chasing it, and it is incredibly fast, getting everything done in the process. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my opinions, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!